All right, good morning, everybody. Hope you're having yourselves a fantastic CPI Wednesday and are ready for what should hopefully be another strong trading day. Yesterday was awesome, right? We took advantage of the volatility there relatively well yesterday. Got a nice move here to the downside. Added some long-term positions, right, in Microsoft that are really nicely moving here today. And yeah, really setting ourselves up, right, for what should be a really nice and hopefully successful end to the week. Now, CPI has been the narrative essentially that the market has been waiting for here. It's been the catalyst that we've been sort of anticipating right this week, and we're definitely getting a very significant gap up here this morning after yesterday's all in all kind of indecisive price action, right? So we're looking at yesterday's bars. We're essentially being told a high volume indecision story while also making higher highs and higher lows. So kind of like some bullish characteristics, some bearish characteristics, some indecisive characteristics. And that certainly does create a scenario where we can get some tradable opportunities. But I think it's also going to continue to create the backdrop of relatively choppy price action. And it's maybe like a warning sign that the market wants to create max pain for participants prior to it making its move, right? So one of my favorite sayings, one of my base assumptions that I make here on a daily basis is that markets are going to behave the same way like they always have until we get a proven otherwise. And right now, we don't have that proven otherwise, that we've got a called change, right, in market conditions or dynamics. And so still am anticipating a relatively like a market that basically wants to just like be as frustrating as possible, right? Now, that doesn't mean we have to give it that sort of power over us. Absolutely not the case. And I think if we just continue to focus on the variables we can control, really be deliberate with our execution management, right, with our strategy deployment, and we focus on basically just gamifying our ability to lose small and get good entries, right, and to close our trades as our P&L is increasing. We're going to set ourselves up to be green regardless of the market environment. And that has been the challenge, right, over the last, we'll say, month or so. And it continues to be the driving force for me in my trading kind of development here, right? I am enjoying that process. I'm enjoying the results of those changes. I am enjoying the decoupling of my ego from my win rate. And I think that that ultimately is making me a lot more of a successful trader, and that continues to be the objective here. I don't want to rely on vanity metrics, right? Your win rate is kind of irrelevant. Your really the only thing that matters is the number that you bring home each month. And confusing myself or tricking myself into thinking that one thing is more important than the other is just a nice way of me like softening the blow of not making or hitting my objectives, right? So that's really the thing that I want to continue to focus on, right? Losing small, closing my trades as my P&L is increasing, resetting up, right, if the trade is strong, and taking those opportunities will continue to help me maximize my P&L and continue to set me up and put me in situations where it's just simply easy to be green. And not necessarily green on each decision, but green on kind of a longer term scale, right? Allow the variance to play out and set myself up for what should be successful. Now, yesterday, right, largest trading day of the year. We had a fantastic session, and so it's about reinforcing a couple concepts, right? So yesterday, one thing that we really talked about there at the start of the day is how that we all already have the skills, the ability, the technique, the mindset to be as successful as we want to be, and that we deserve to accomplish those objectives, and that when we do basically match our mindset with our desires, right, and with our actions, we put ourselves in situations where we are unstoppable. I'm a big believer in the power of visualization, in the power of positive thinking, and for lack of a better word, like I think you can manifest the success that you're looking for on a daily basis. And you are always in control of the thoughts that you have. It's a choice, right? It's a choice to berate yourself, and it's a choice to support yourself, even if sometimes that feels like that isn't the case. I promise you, we are all in control of that ability. We are all in control over, the language we use to describe our problems. And the more deliberate we are in the choice of that language, or how we choose to describe our issues, easier it is for us to solve them, right? Easier it is for us to overcome them, and easier it is for them to essentially become a little bit irrelevant inside our lives. So what I want to focus on here again today, right, and not to sound like I should be burned at the stake at the Salem witch trials, but it's really about, being deliberate with my language, being specific, and speaking into existence the mindset that I want to trade with here today, right? I want to be confident in my ability. I want to be confident in my technique. I want to be confident that the way I behave when I remain in control puts me in situations where it's easy to be green. And I do firmly believe all of those realities. I've got the evidence to back it up. I have the experience to suggest that that is the case. And I have also the evidence that when I tell myself that I'm a dumbass, or that I'm an idiot, or that I'm undisciplined, or that I'm unlovable, or whatever it is, right? Whatever negative connotation I want to apply to myself, then that becomes my reality, right? That becomes then the version that I deal with. And I don't get to experience the thrills of success. I just get to feel the pain of failure. And one thing, I played a lot of sports growing up, and one of the things that, coaches would always talk to us about is act like you've been there before, right? And I think it took me a long time to kind of realize what that meant, or how to apply that to a trading context. But I think a lot of that is thinking about how we use our language to help set ourselves up, right, to be green. So if on a daily basis, I go into each trading day with the confidence that my ability, my technique, my skills are good enough to help me accomplish my objectives, then I'm kind of acting like I've been there before, right? I'm acting as if I'm making decisions, or expecting myself to make decisions to give me that victory feeling without having to have gotten there already, right? So I can almost like preemptively feel like a winner, preemptively behave like a winner, preemptively tell myself and speak into existence that I am this. And then when I do experience that victory, or I do experience that winning trade, it's not a surprise, right? It's not something that then sneaks up on me. It's not like a random result. It's what I expected was going to happen. It's what I told myself was going to happen. And so then there's not like this tremendous dopamine release, right? Anything along those lines. You get to be that steady, calm hand instead of being super wild and aggressive. And that goes on the negative side either, right? So when I tell myself I'm undisciplined, when I tell myself I'm a gambler, when I tell myself that my entries are always shit, or that I'm not willing to accept my stop losses, if I tell myself and I believe these things before they ever happen, then all that's going to occur is when I inevitably average down into a trade, or I ignore a stop loss, or I rush an entry, or I do something that is undisciplined, I just kind of numb that pain from myself, because I've already prepared myself mentally that that is going to be my most likely outcome. So I want to avoid those feelings, right? I want to avoid those sensations. And kind of go back full circle here. right? That's why I believe that trading is like the mindset that you choose to deploy on a daily basis is a choice, and making the appropriate choice is a foundational element for being successful there intraday. So my commitment here today is to be the trader that I know I am. I'm going to be obsessed with my technique. I'm going to be good at cutting losers quickly. I'm going to be good at adding to winners, and I'm going to be excellent at scaling out my trades as my P&L is increasing. I'm going to behave like I expect myself to be a winner, and I'm not going to behave as if being a loser is inevitable. I will not tolerate like a level of self-loathing from myself, and I certainly won't tolerate a level of self-loathing from you all. We are all better than that. We can all make a better decision than that, and it all starts with that decision internally to become the best individuals that we can be, and to believe truly, right, that we have the skills, the ability, the support, and the background around us to help us accomplish those objectives. So that's the theme of the day here for me, right? That's definitely something I'm going to try to focus on and work on here a little bit, probably for 2025. It's definitely a goal that I think is very important. But I'm a big believer, right, that it all starts in the mind. And if we control our mind, then it's easier to control our technical side of things. So with that being said, let's figure out what we want to do here today. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all ready for what should hopefully be a successful trading day. And let's get after it. So we got some Fed speak here later this morning. We got crude oil inventories here later today. So it should be an interesting session, right? Relatively big gap up, right? Post CPI. So definitely going to give us a little bit of an opportunity. What does that give us from a count perspective? Let's start there. Yeah, 2 out of 3 here to the upside with volume. Sorry, to the downside with volume. And we'll call it a weak 2 out of 3, right? Candle shape, not exactly particularly strong. And we've already invalidated yesterday's higher high, right? So we've broken out above that range here significantly. We're above even that Friday form of consolidation. So I'm not sure if there's necessarily a ton of reasons for me to be super aggressive thinking that I need to ignore a bull case. I think I can have a bias here in either direction. And so I'm willing to have that set up here today. So historically, right, 2 out of 3 with volume, I would be looking only for that trending direction. But because we've not only broken out above previous day's high, but also that most recent sell-off high, kind of starting to look a little bit like contextually it's a bullish market, right, or a bullish bounce more than anything else here today. So definitely interested in that, right, and targeting a move then towards, say, 59.80, right, and then like 6,000, so going back up towards that area. And then like 60.10, 60.20. And then to the downside, right, this would be a textbook like Bollinger Band reversal type scenario, right, where we've got a relatively big gap up here. Maybe there's a lot of profit taking post CPI, and then that gives us a relatively reasonable narrative to get back down towards sort of like the 58.70 handle, 58.80. So we can definitely have a little bit of call it flexibility in either direction here today. Does that make sense? Awesome. For those of you who are watching via Discord, so yeah, unfortunately there is a 50-person cap. Looking at some possible alternatives. Maybe we can do it through Zoom or something along those lines. But yeah, just let you guys know I am thinking about you guys. So So just bear with me here while I maybe try to find a better alternative. All right, NQ. Similar story, not so similar. Yeah, pretty much the same thing, right? So again, maybe a little bit weaker than ES, right? Because ES was above that Friday high. So I would say that probably would be the target for me here. 21.4, right? And then beyond. And then to the downside here, right? Targeting 29. And again, like that same kind of like Bollinger Band reversal type thesis. Oops. Right? Mean reversion type setup, overreaction, gap up, whatever you want to call it. And we'll see if there's a level of enthusiasm in play there today. Make sense? Beautiful. All right, so CL probably not going to be tradable here today. It's an inside bar going into crude oil inventories. Can't believe I spelled inventories correctly. And so we're going to be waiting basically for consolidation breakout, right? Not sure if I need to do anything here too aggressive today. So generally on CL inventories day, tend to not trade it. Again, not much really changing from a plan perspective if something does come up, but I'd prefer to wait right until that data is out of the way. Okay, Apple, higher high, higher low, decreasing volume, gap up. So 1 out of 3 here to the downside. And we're looking for a 236 breakout here higher or a breakdown under 232. And looks great. Okay. Tesla, red candle, increasing volume, higher high, higher low, gap up. So similar narrative to the indexes. So although it's a bearish candle, that bearish candle is giving me bullish characteristics, right? So definitely still could be potentially in play here, especially when you get a breakout over that, say, 428 area. That would have to be the starting point here. So basically get like that trend line breakout. And then to the downside here, basically be like a trend line rejection, right? All right. So Microsoft added to my long-term portfolio there. Yesterday we talked about that a little bit in the pre-market. So far so good on this position, right? This is looking like it's a pretty nice mover. And we'll see if we can continue to get a little bit of further separation away from this 200 EMA. Pretty simply just an idea, right? Strong company pulling back into the 200 EMA. That's going to outperform things here quite a bit. So let's see how things kind of shape up and come together. But hopefully, right, we can get a nice amount of follow through on this. Again, I only played this with shares. I didn't play this with options or anything along those lines. And yeah, we'll see if it continues to have some oomph. Nice little 420 breakout and continuation narrative here would be fantastic. Could get myself to like a risk-free spot where I can try to run this up towards maybe 450 or beyond. But we'll cross that bridge, and I'll keep you guys updated on how I manage this position. Again, this is a 1 out of 3 here. And then to the downside under, we'll say 410, would sort of invalidate me. All right. Amazon. Said that weird. 1 out of 3 here again. So we're looking now for a breakout over 220, say 223. right? Or a breakdown here under 216. Maybe this could be like a trend line rejection as well. And we'll see if we can go from there. Okay, AMD, higher high, higher low, decreasing volume, gap up. So we still need to see that 119 breakout and then a breakdown here under that low, right, 114. So again, not too much changing from this plan. All right, NVIDIA kind of looks a little bit like Microsoft opening, or sorry, Tesla opening up in the implied middle here of this range. Not as much volume as Tesla, but a very similar candle shape. Probably the most impressive candle shape, right? But still a 1 out of 3 here to the downside. Kind of feels like it's setting up as an inside bar. And then we're going to be looking for a breakout 136.50. Or a breakdown here under 129. All right, Meta, red candle, increasing volume, gap up, pretty much gapping up to yesterday's high of day, which is pretty interesting. Kind of hard to ignore this potential little trend line bounce as well, right? That looks pretty textbook. And then it's maybe like something like this, right? So starting to consolidate inside a wedge again here. Pretty interesting. So again, we're going to call this a 2 out of 3 here with volume. And we're going to say possible wedge consolidation. And then we're looking bullish breakout here over 610. And then a bearish breakdown here under that trend line of like 588. Awesome. Okay. Netflix. Just increasing. Lower low, lower high. So I'm not going to be able to have a bullish opportunity on this. Right, this is probably the candle that's showing us the most bearish characteristics. So I'm going to be looking for a breakdown here under, we'll say, 824. Right, or alternatively, we look for a rejection kind of like in this area, right? Where we've seen really strong bears kind of step up and defend here before. If they can continue to push us down with that narrative, should be in good shape. Okay. Google, higher high, higher low, decreasing volume, gap up. So again, 1 out of 3 here to the downside. And we're looking for, we'll say 190, 250 we can go. That's fine. And then to the downside here would have to get under those wicks, which would be 187.50. So again, not too much changing from that perspective. Let's see how she goes. All right, VIX 17.14. Much lower, right, from the 21 handle that we had here so far. And we'll see, right? Any questions here, team? Any questions? Any questions? All right, team. So I'm going to be back in a couple minutes here. Just going to make myself a quick cup of coffee. Just get my head screwed on straight. Make sure I'm feeling positive and optimistic and ready to go. And then I'll jump back on here in a few minutes. And we'll set ourselves up for what should hopefully be a successful trading day. All right, so let's get ready for what should hopefully be a fun trading day here today. Patrick, seeing your question here. I've personally never tried it. I'm sure someone has in the past. Yeah, I'm sure there's something there. I'm fine. Look, pretty much any strategy can work, right? So I think too many people put so much emphasis on I gotta do this or I gotta do that, or looking for some holy grail technique for strategy, and ultimately that's not what's going to make you profitable. It's funny, we'll wait for confirmation of that idea, right? So what would confirmation look like if you're, what would the first candle, right, of a move to the downside look like, where you're then going to get a retest, right, of yesterday's range? So define what you'd expect that to look like first, right? And then once you've seen that candle, or you've seen that price reaction, right, then you can look to jump in without having to be nervous. It's one thing I was just saying there. You know, even when I worked for a hedge fund, right, there's the term hedge fund, right, which means that you're theoretically hedging your exposure and doing all that kind of stuff. But the way that we hedged exposure was probably not the way people think, right? Like Al, my boss, had a great saying that hedges are for gardens. So if you have a position that you're not comfortable taking, why increase your commissions by taking a trade on the other side instead of just sizing down your position? When we got into quote unquote tumultuous market environments and we wanted to, I don't know, make sure that we're not getting screwed over, we would just do an equal weighting market portfolio. So, you know, we'd have every name that we would trade, right, in our tradable universe would be like 10,000 names across the world, and every name would be allocated the same X amount of capital, 100 grand, $1 million, whatever it was, and that's how we would ride out basically tumultuous experiences. Those trades were always the biggest pain in the ass to fill. You'd be trying to trade some like super illiquid name in Korea, and you're trying to buy like $1 million worth of exposure, and if you buy it, you're going to move the price by 20 cents. If you move the price by 20 cents, you're going to get regulators coming after you. And you get yelled at if you didn't get filled. You'd get yelled at if you got filled too aggressively. It was a no-win situation. So far, so slow. Again, we do have a little bit of 10 a.m. data here today. Where did I see? Oh, it's Fed speak at 10 a.m. Apologies. And we've kind of seen just a little bit here, right, in the last, I mean, I seem to be cursed with this at the moment, but like the first trade of the day, yesterday was like the fastest loss I've ever experienced in my entire life. So it'd be nice to avoid that and to start the day off 1 for 1 and just be chill. But let's cross that bridge when we get to it. It's a tough balance because I think one of the bad habits that traders will try to get themselves into, especially when they're a little bit fearful of their losers, is they'll try to optimize to basically avoid losses, right? So they'll start to optimize to, oh, not take trades at this time, or not do this at that time, or whatever it might be. And that makes it really challenging, right? Because then the trade you decide to skip or avoid or whatever ends up being the winner. Yeah, so with crude oil styles, right, we're waiting for CL inventories here today at 10:30. I won't trade it until that event happens, right? Because we've got a pretty big market data event going on for it here today. So I won't trade that until 10:30. And so just to go back to my point here, right, that we have to be able to play this game without like trying to solve to avoid our losses. They're unavoidable. We just have to learn how to make them insignificant and inconsequential instead of trying to avoid them, because when we lose, we have a bad reaction, right? We need to solve for that bad reaction, not trying to avoid losing money. You simply just cannot. So, first setup I see, I'm going to take it unless something invalidates. And as much as it's a terrible feeling to start the day off 0 for 1, it's just random, right? How often that happens if I'm consistent with my approach and consistent with my technique. Okay, so there's increasing volume. Right? Kind of getting that Bollinger Band reversal type scenario, right? Talked about, right? So, if I'm thinking about this candle with 20 seconds to go, price is 21,209. We've gotten under and pierced under 200, right? So I'd like to see this close and hold under 200 if I'm going to be convinced of bears being strong, right? If we're going to get through a psychological level, then the strongest reaction of that price action, right, would be a breakdown and hold of that price action. If it can't do that, like it hasn't here, then I'm not really being sold a narrative that bears are particularly strong. Okay. So no setup here for now. Why'd you go short, Patrick? You talked about what you wanted to see as a confirmation standard, right? That's not the candle you said you were gonna wait for, right? So what are you doing, man? Like, you can't make a rule for yourself and then get that rush of blood and choose to ignore it right away. What do you expect is going to happen? That's why I asked you to define what you look for as strength. So you make it binary, right? Either that gives you the reaction or it doesn't. It didn't give you that reaction, so why did you reward yourself with an entry? That's dumb, man. That's so avoidable. It's pure ego. You know, it took you 2 minutes to ignore, right, your plan? Like, what the fuck, man? Hold yourself to a higher standard than that. Like, you just took that trade saying that, hey, this hasn't followed my rules. Let me gamble and hope I'm correct. So how is that executing an edge, right? Why are you willing to trade something that you are have told yourself already is not going to be profitable? I don't understand that. This addiction to self-sabotage can't be the way we live. No, I just haven't said anything for a second here, Mike. Just went to go stare out the window for a moment. So still decreasing volume here. So we mapped out our levels here, right? The high from Friday is approximately 21,380. So just rounded up to 400. So still nothing going on here yet, right? No tradable action. Maybe we'll get some increasing volume here on ES and NQ. It seems unlikely. Mike, I'm not muted, by the way. Okay, there's increasing volume there on ES. Same thing with NQ, so I'm going to focus here on NQ to the upside now. Again, NQ, she's my baby, so I prefer to trade this than over pretty much anything else. So again, let's see if we can find some support here first. No need to rush this. So let's see if we find support here. For now, I'd be looking at a 318 stop loss. Okay, looking good here so far, right? So if I can get a really gentle pullback, I'd absolutely be interested in this. You one contract play. Okay, so I'm in 338.25. And maybe not a perfect entry here. $9.51. Okay, last chance if we can get up and over. Otherwise, I'm going to look to cut this and get out for a small loss. But if I'm being objective, right, probably a little bit early on my entry here. So let's see if we can get bailed out. kind of struggling here just a little bit, I would say. So I took the stop there, guys. I did take the stop. Can you guys not hear me? What's going on here? Well, nothing looks wrong on my end. I mean, I just was writing my journal, so I wasn't saying anything. All right, so let's make sure we control, right, on our end here. Some technical issues, because I can't generally help you guys with tech issues unless it's on my end, right? So saying you can't hear me is not very helpful. Do I have the courage to try this again? Okay, still waiting and watching here. Again, I'm still a little bit interested in this breakout again here. I had the right thesis, maybe just got shaken out on my timing a little bit. So the idea has not been fundamentally wrong. Just timing was, which is fine. I can be discerning enough to identify that. Did not get a fill there. That's crazy. Tried to get a fill at 25. Could not get it. So I'm just going to wait this extra 20 seconds here for now that 10 a.m. candle. That might give me a good discount potentially. Okay, so now stop would be 321. You're looking for a gentle pullback into 42. Didn't give it to me there. Point pullbacks, bit tough. Oh, it's annoying on that timing. Okay, maybe I could do something like this. Now 25. No, I can't. I can't. One sec here, guys. One sec. Hello? Never mind. I'm back. Okay, still watching here. Too fast on that pullback. Again, good decision to have not chased here yet. Okay, so stop loss would be 355-ish. Again, it's pulling back too quickly here yet to be aggressive. So is this a little bit of deja vu to this move here, potentially? Twice now I've missed a fill that I wanted. It's getting annoying. So again, so far no entry here. Okay, again, increasing volume here, so another chance. Okay, so watching here closely again. Okay, still nothing, right? Still nothing. Okay, so I'm still watching this here on the 10-min time frame. So we need to get towards like 48 or so, right, as an entry here, or lower. At 360, right, I'm not risking less than 500 bucks, risking more. Bum, 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 bum. $365. Ugh. Not sure how I feel about that yet. Still too big of a stop here, right? 32 points. We need to get it to break out over 90 and then pull back, right, to like sub 80 before this is tradable on the 10. Okay, now we need to see it pull back here to like 78-ish, right, or below. So I need stop loss to be 54. Or alternatively, right, we get a breakout and hold on this 3 min here above 400 and then reset towards 21.5. Let's see. Okay, not doing it on this time. Ooh, right at 400. Okay. All right. In business here. So stop loss 396 for now. See if it can turn 400 into support here for that next launch. Not bad. A little bit bouncy still. All right, guys, I am in average price 401.50. Stop loss 395. And I have 3 contracts here. Okay, I took the stop. Minus 317. Twice that's happened now. Maybe just a little bit early on this. Theme of my day here so far. Just a little bit. All right, I'm back in here at 395.75. Sorry, I'm just watching this. I'll type this out in a second. Okay, it's gotta go. Stop is at 385. Oh, whoops. How did I do that? What the fuck? Okay, guys, I've closed this trade. It's not behaving the way that I want. Still think that this is generally the right thesis. Close my position at 389, Trent. 389. Once it broke out above 400, closed it on the pullback back under. The reason I keep thinking this is potentially still strong is because we keep knocking at 400, but then aren't able to separate really anywhere below it and on any significant amount of volume. So if that separation changes, then I can start to look for rejection theses. So far, right, if I'm judging myself on my trading, I've had the general thesis here correct, but my timing has been wrong. So what I'm looking for here on a next possible entry is on any entry to be green pretty much right away. And if I'm not, right, close it, move on, try again. Just getting the timing correct here is very, very important. I gotta do something like that. So we need this to be under 377, right, to justify an entry here on the 10 min. See if they can do it here. 377 or lower, right? 377 or lower. Okay, now we want to see just a gentle little pullback here. Did not get a fill at 77 there. That's my story today. Okay, still watching. Okay, now I want to get a better entry than 77, right? If I missed it on that, I don't want to be chasing that. I want to get a better discount. Okay. Probably moving a little bit too fast low here. Bouncing pretty well once it gets that 60 handle. All right, so I'm in 71.75. Let's see if it can go. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I'm watching this carefully, right? I'm not going to let this go red. So far, so fine. Okay, guys, I've closed this position. Closed at 74. All right, like I said, I was not going to let that trade go red. So a little bit bouncy here. That's okay. Got one on the board. Okay, again, I mean, keep seeing this pattern play out, right? High vol breakout, pull back, fake out, go. Now, again, if I'm going to look to play this thesis again to the upside, I'm looking for a better entry than 71, right? This is a good reaction here. Fuck me. This does not want to move in a nice way. Yeah, we're going to try again here, potentially. Same thing, right? We keep that 400, right? Keeps acting as like a magnet here. So I want tight risk, right? I want tight risk. And same thing. I'm either green right away. Once I'm green, I'm not going to let this thing go red. Even if it means I take 60 bucks, right? Even if it means I take 30 bucks, whatever, right? I'm buying myself basically mental capital with managing this aggressively. Everyone understand that? Okay, so we're looking at a 78 stop loss for now. Maybe we can do this. Stop loss 45. Better entry than 71 would be ideal. Again, so watching here closely. Again, maybe we'll be able to get a tighter entry here. Minus 414. Okay, still watching here. Has to be under 70, right, for me to justify with the stop loss at 45. All right, so the 70 to 45 is 25 points, right? And 43. And again, right, if I'm going to play this pullback entry, I need an entry better than what I had previously, right? So if 71 was the previous high watermark, I want to get something that's a better discount than that. Okay, watch this close. Okay, guys, I am in 68.75, one contract. Same thing, right? Not letting this thing go red, being very aggressive with how I'm managing it this. Come on. Gotta get over here. Let's go, let's go. Come on, come on. There's my stop. Fuck's sake. I got one more shot in me here, maybe two. At some point here, maybe you gotta start looking for mean reversion. Fuck's sakes, doing this shit again. Microsoft's making me some money. Holy shit. Fuck. Keeps doing this to me. So 59.75 would have to be the stop, man. This is testing my mental sanity here today. Okay, still watching here, still watching. Under 72. I only need one. Come on. Okay, guys, I'm in 368.75, 2 contracts. Still in. That's not a good reaction, though. There's the stop. Fuck me, man. Minus 341. Fuck. Man, I'm really testing my sanity here a little bit. Gosh, I would kill for some just increasing bearish volume here. Gosh. Okay, we do have increasing on the 15. Man, if I could finally just get some follow through here, please, oh please. Yeah, it's not above outlier though on the 3. Which is why I want to focus on the 15. Oh, this is a a sanity day. All right. So stop loss have to be 380. So you're looking at a 55 or better entry. So far, it's moving too quick to be super aggressive here. Okay, better. See if it just run out of juice there. Yeah, fake out on the 3. Okay, still watching here. 55 or better, like I said, 55 or better. Oh, one of those days where you gotta hope it's a simulation. Come on, 2 points, not much. Okay, guys, I'm in 59.25. Come on, die, die, die. Be a little bit enthusiastic there on the post entry. Green right away, but not as much separation as I would have wanted. And not at like the enthusiasm I would have wanted, right? Because it kind of got like flushed and then hit a wall. So let's see if this thing's got some juice. And so far, so good. 300 bucks here. So let's see if it's got a bit more follow through. So I feel like my entry was correct, but with this reaction post-entry, I'm not sure if my thesis is correct. Doesn't die here, I gotta get out. And then try to get a better entry. Or reset until it feels, behaves the way you'd expect. Come on, come on. No, it's wrong. Come on, last chance here. Okay, has to bleed out here. Has to bleed out, right? Survived the worst case scenario. So now if it doesn't flush, then I'm being told, fuck your thesis, right? For lack of a better term. Oh, man, that was stressful. So has to flush here. Has to. How's everyone feeling? Yeah, it's been a tough one. So we're in good shape here. 500 bucks on this. Let's see if we can keep breaking down. A flush under that 320 area should give us a pretty decent follow through. So let's see if this thing can continue to flush. That's about 50% of my loss on the day covered. So we still got some work to do, right? We still got some work to do here. Oh, man. I'm gonna, after this trade, I'm gonna have to fly out to Turkey for an implant. Okay, get under that 20 handle here. Come on, come on. Now, we'll have a potential opportunity to pyramid into this position if it wants to break down quickly. If it wants to pull back, it'd be a bit of a dick. I'm going to struggle to be able to pyramid into this. Gosh, seconds feel like minutes right now. So has to flush here, right? Has to flush. Right, if it does and gets down under that 320, then I could do something like this, right? And have my average price on 2 contracts to be like in the 40 range. So let's see if it can do it. Still hasn't made that lower low, right? Still has not made that lower low. Okay, so now, right, if I were to buy a second contract, right, with a stop loss of being approximately 341, now a little bit higher, 342.75, I would need to get a deeper pullback, right, than that 319.50. So again, it's going to slow me down here on a possible pyramid. Now significantly. Fuck me, man. This thing wants to make me work. Oh, Jesus. I'd say the only reason, right, why I haven't closed this trade here yet is because it didn't make a lower low, right? So it's not a fake out. This is still just a consolidation move. Now, this is not feeling great, right? So this is still the scenario here. Fair enough, Patrick. What happened to sitting out though, man? You said you were going to sit out? What happened? No answer? Yeah, but why'd you make that change, right? You told yourself that you weren't going to place anything after breaking your rules, so why then, again, ignore that feeling, right? Why behave opposite of how you said you were going to behave? That's what I don't understand, right? If you're going to tell yourself that you're going to do something, and then you actively do the opposite of that thing, you're just reinforcing the same problem you had, right, with taking a trade without confirmation after defining confirmation. It's the same problem, it's just a different side of the coin. So why be so willing to do that, right? So you say you're going to do something, do it. Make it easy to do that thing. Right? You got to protect yourself from yourself, not make it easy for yourself to lose more. Yeah, Willard, I haven't adjusted my stop loss here yet. Right? Like I said, the reason I haven't closed this trade is because this isn't a fake out move, right? It hasn't made a lower low under my confirmation candle. So I have no reason to think of this anything other than consolidation. I will always tell you when I change my stop loss, right? Otherwise, I use the R system, which you can find a bunch of course material on that already. So if you want that information on how to use the R system, there's plenty of material inside the trading docs, inside the courses. And you can go find that information for yourself. Fuck me, man. We've had to sweat this. Oh, man. Remember, guys, discipline in trading is doing what you know is best for you, even when it doesn't feel like it is, right? So if you catch yourself breaking a rule, or you catch yourself chasing a trade, or you catch yourself doing XYZ, and then your next impulse, right, is to walk away, take the day off, paper trade, whatever it might be, and then you do the opposite of that, you're not being disciplined as a trader, right? You're not reinforcing that discipline muscle. You're not making it easy for you to compound your skills and to learn from your mistakes, right? You're just making the same mistake, but in like a different language. And we have to get good at behaving the way that we say we're going to behave. Because once we start getting addicted to that process, then okay, you can kind of have an ass-kicking day here like today, but then still be able to take a fifth trade of the day and set yourself up to be green while protecting your mental capital, right? So what we want to make sure is that we don't compound mistakes once we're trading, and to just allow ourselves, right, to play our system and to create that muscle memory. The only way you're going to create that muscle memory is by behaving the way that you say you're going to behave consistently and doing it, right? So if you tell yourself, hey, I'm walking away, I'm not feeling good, I'm not doing whatever, right? And then you choose to do that behavior anyway, you're just reinforcing a bad habit. So then if you get a good result reinforcing a bad habit, it's going to make it that much easier just to break that rule again in the future, because you're going to remember, oh, last time I averaged down into a trade, or last time I traded when I felt like I needed to have walked away, I made $500. And then you're going to remember the positive reward to a bad process instead of remembering that it was a bad process, right? The most dangerous result is the trade that makes you money when you weren't following your rules. Because it just makes you think, oh, my rules are dumb or my rules are stupid, when it's just in reality you got lucky, right? Instead of anything else. Yeah, fair play, Jonathan. If you didn't get the right entry, no worries. If a trade is strong, it'll always set you up to get another entry. Let's see if this thing could break down here. I mean, it is testing my patience. Okay, see if you can break down here under, right, low of our confirmation candle. And again, I'm not going to have a very good opportunity to pyramid into this position because I would need my stop loss to be 349. So if my average price is approximately 360, right, just to keep the math simple, I would need a pullback then around 335-ish, right? Bit higher, 340, right? To be able to get my average price to be 350-ish. So if I make a lower low here now under this 318 and I got to deal with a $22 pullback, I'm going to feel like shit, right? So if we make a lower low, I want to see it continue breaking down. I just don't have the buffer to be able to build up this position. We get that? All right, so pyramiding is fundamentally just a math equation. Nothing else besides that, right? It's, can I get a realistic entry while remaining above my new stop loss price? Oh, you dick. Why? It's gotta die here. Man. Fuck me. Again, still an inside bar, which is killing me here. Fuck. Serves me right that I gotta sweat this one out. Oh. It's the high and low of the first candle of that specific time frame. So the ORB on the 15 is going to be different than the ORB on the 10. So it's just whatever the high and low of the first candle is of whatever time frame. Come on, flush, baby. Reward me here. I feel like I'm in an insane asylum. Come on. Again, I'm cheering for this to either close and break down under 320 or close towards it so that I can get a pyramid entry. It's what I'm cheering for. We'll see if it happens. Come on. Sounds good, Patrick. One thing I want you to focus on, man, right? Behave how you say you're going to behave. Delay that gratification. Even if it sucks in the moment, it's going to make you a lot more money here long term. I want you to be the tortoise, not the hare, right? Okay, so again, an aggressive breakdown here. If I can get my stop loss to be like that, right? 32, then we're sweet. This thing really still just wants to make me sweat. Alright, so if I could do something like this, that would be interesting. Needs to break down though, right, under this barrier. And then again, right, I can kind of look at this pretty easily visually, that this is closer to the bottom half than the middle. So now, right, I can look for another price. And awesome, right? So now my average price is $340.75. Approximately here. And I have 2 contracts looking for big follow through here now under 300. So now we're watching this flush, right? This has a chance to push me nicely green on the day here. So a decent flush under 300. I'm going to look to get out. All right, that's $2,000 just about. Let's see if it's got a bit more legs here. So a good reward for being patient. I feel like a lunatic and a sociopath here. But this is going to turn into a nice day here, right? That's $2,300. So let's see if it keeps getting the legs here. 2,500. So if this trade hasn't made you green on the day, you fucked up somewhere, right? Everyone feeling good? Or feeling better, I should say. Who else is in this with me here? Yeah, it did, Alfred. It took a tremendous amount of mental capital. Okay, so now the focus, right, is on closing before this thing pulls back here too aggressive. So the question is, Sammy, why did you want to do that, right? There was no bearish failure from that trade. Right? So why did you feel the desire to close it? Besides the P&L just feeling bad. Right? So that then becomes the question to answer for yourself in your journal. And I want you to focus and think about that. The fear of being wrong without a technical reason to have closed your trade is just that, right? It's like the fear of going to a haunted house. But we want to be closing our green trades, right, when they get invalidated before they become red trades, right? That's the difference. Okay, so again, let's continue to see if this thing wants to keep flush and lower here. Right? We don't want to trade our P&L. We want to trade the technical reasons behind our P&L. So the reason, right, why I didn't protect this position, because it was continuing to consolidate, right, without breaking down and giving me a bearish failure, on decreasing bullish volume, right? So I was getting no evidence besides my P&L being bouncy that bears had failed or that bulls had reclaimed control. So the only reason to have then closed that position was purely from a, I can't stomach this number anymore. Which either means that your position sizing is too aggressive, right? That you're looking at your P&L here too much, or that you're judging yourself basically off of that. So we want to be closing our green trades when they get invalidated before they pull back. Not still when they're within our reasonable realm of possibilities. Pretty good breakdown here. Yeah, fair play. I mean, closing it as your P&L is increasing is a different story. Protecting your trade, right? Because you're worried about giving back your P&L is different too. Right, that's a different execution reason. Come on, come on. Ah. Because what we have to, sorry to keep harping on you here, Sammy, but what we have to really focus on is we have to allow our winners to be winners, right? Because now pyramiding into this trade, getting that follow through, I'm at least getting myself back, right, to a plus or minus $100 day, right? If I can get back down towards those 380s, right, it's a $1,000 day. So I have to allow my strategy to play out if I want to basically make back my losses, right? I have to trust my strategy more than I fear my P&L. Sounds good, David. Enjoy. And today, good example, right, of how win rate is irrelevant. Even though it fucking sucked. Oh. Just a good example of that here today. Okay, so the reason here why I would potentially look to now close this trade in the next 20 seconds is if we can't get a close under 300. All right, so if bears are strong and this volume is telling me that good momentum, then that should be giving me a close here under 3. And then I can look for some more continuation to the downside. All right, so it did just by the skin of its teeth. Okay, and now potentially, right, I can reset this and look to add another contract here potentially. And build into a third. So if I buy, just I can do some math here, calculator. So I got 340.75 times 2 plus 274 divided by 3 would give me 318.50. So if I do get a breakdown here under 274, I could look to build up a third contract here. And we'll see if this thing can happen. If it pulls back much more than that, right, they don't have the space to pull it off. And then obviously every entry that I get that's better than 274, then the easier it is for me to get that average price or bigger buffer. So that's 1600. Come on, motherfucker. I feel like Hank Moody there. All right, let's keep watching this here. Let's keep watching. I honestly feel like an insane person today. Oh, that's 500 bucks on the day. Let's even get a bit more. So again, right, while we're waiting for this thing to break down and you're thinking about pyramiding into a third contract, they should be the moment where you're doing those calculations, right? So based on my current average price and an entry of 274, my then average price with 3 contracts would be approximately 318. Right, approximately that yellow line. Change it to a gray line, is hypothetical. So this thing still has some potential for me, right, to be able to build up, right, more sizing. And then, right, stop loss would be 308.75. Okay, so there we go. I have now a third contract. Average price is 319.83. And let's see if this thing can break down. Stop is 318. Say 309 stop. And again, the first thing I want to focus on in these situations, right? Relatively stressful trade, hard working day, posture and breathing, right? Posture and breathing. Those are the first two things that go when you start to get on tilt. I start to crave nicotine. And then my posture and my breathing goes. So those are the things that I focus on. Let's see if this thing's got the legs. Come on, baby. Who's still in this with me? Let's go, Styles. So that's nearly 3K here on the day, right? Or sorry, on this trade. So let's see if this thing can keep breaking down. Another 20 points would be awesome. Come on. Flush, motherfucker. That's the way she goes, Michael. That's the way she goes. Come on, come on. And they only get wiped out, Michael, right? If we do two things. We don't make losses personal, right? So that's step one. We have to basically be the best losers that we can possibly be and understand that variance feels personal in the moment, but it really isn't in reality. And then step two, right, is to gamify losing small and not getting that like hopium that our losers are going to turn into winners. So I now have 4 contracts, guys. I bought a 4th contract at that 286 touch. That brings my average price to be 311. And stop loss is at 308. Now, all that does, right, is I'm starting to think about potentially closing this here pretty soon. Basically, next big flush lower, I'm going to be looking to get out here. Come on. All right, so again, right, your pyramid position sizing is simply just a math equation. Can I add another contract without going under, right, my stop loss? Can I basically add more sizing without increasing risk? I could, so I clicked submit. Come on, die, die, die. Oh, working man's day. Okay, that's 3K. Let's see if we can flush here. Big flush, and I'm going to get out. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Don't like the volume. Feels kind of like shit. So I'll give this one more chance here. Come on. There it goes. And I am out. 39.40. Let's go. All out, guys. Closed at 61. Closed at 61. Nearly 4K on that trade. Let's go. Woo! So if that doesn't prove, I mean, today I talked all day. Make your win rate irrelevant. Right? If that doesn't prove that you have to focus on your risk management and your position sizing, right, and just maintaining your mental capital, so you can make your win rate irrelevant, that, I don't know if there's going to be any better evidence than that. What a fucking win. Let's go. And again, maybe I closed this early. Don't care. Plan, right, once we saw that decreasing volume and failed breakdown, was to just close on that next big flush. Once that big flush happened, just click exit and get out. I'm not trying to catch the top. I'm not trying to catch the bottom. I'm just trying to catch the juicy middle. Okay, so what? Left a few dollars on the table. I don't care, right? Woo! Everyone feel good? Yeah, so first entry, give me a second here. 11 o'clock, 11:02. Nice work, Mike. So held that trade for about an hour. And this, right, this is why we close on that big flush. Okay, because maybe it goes down another 10 points or whatever it is. But golly Moses, that one felt good. What a day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I feel like a lunatic. What a day, team. What a day. Everyone feeling good? Oh, sorry, I'm trying to repeat myself here. So nearly 100 points on that play, right, which is awesome. So with a one contract, right, that still would have been $2,000, right, give or take. But pyramiding in while going risk-free doubled our P&L on that trade, right? So cannot complain about that. Two, 1, 2, 6, 1. Any questions here, team? Any questions? Any questions here, team? Final call for questions. Final call. It was a 15 min setup here, Roberto, right? So we played this on the 15 min candle. So this was our confirmation stop loss here, right at it was at 80, 380. And then this was our pullback candles. We bought on that pullback. So it was a 15 min setup, not a 5 min. And so didn't make a lower low, pullback on decreasing volume, right? Lowest volume of the day. Continued to consolidate and then broke down with enthusiasm, right, on that next candle. Woo! I love NQ, guys. Oh my god. She's so good to me. Good man, John. Good man. Whew. What a day, team. What a day. Again, you focus on losing small. You focus on trusting your system. You focus on trading your technique more than your P&L. And you set yourself up to be nicely green here, even when markets don't want to cooperate early. It's a bit of an annoying habit, right? But we're paying, or at least I'm paying, a decent amount of tuition to the market, or like an admission fee, before I'm able to find the sort of trending price action of the day. And that only is going to continue to work if I focus on keeping my losses under my max loss limit. And then again, right, when I'm in a nice winning trade and I'm able to be risk-free, I need to be focusing on closing as my P&L is increasing, not decreasing. So although I maybe could have held out for a move towards 47, closing at 61 versus closing here at 287 is a significant difference, and it makes a tremendous difference, right, to my bottom line. So started the day off, right, talking about how we got to make our win rate irrelevant by focusing on the variables we can't control. And today, we really lived out that thesis, maybe spoke it into existence just a little bit too much. But a great trading day. Really had to fight, work, right? Be disciplined and structured, and remained in control. And by doing that, we set ourselves up for a fantastic trading day. So win rate on the year here, right? It's maybe not super sexy. You know, we're sitting at 53%, but I've made 38K in the last 2 weeks. So I'm not really going to complain about that, right? My win rate has been Not the point that matters here at the moment. And at some point, we will get price action that is less, I don't know, like sticky, right? Whatever you want to call it. And then these habits will compound even more. So the fact that we're taking advantage of these moves in relatively choppy markets and we're building good habits, right, in challenging conditions is making it easy for us to be pretty successful here. And it's easy from a mathematical perspective, right? Not from like a mental capital perspective. This trade took a tremendous amount of energy, right? It took a tremendous amount of focusing on posture, breathing, on, okay, is price action actually behaving the way that I want? Is it giving me the looks that I want? Is it behaving nicely? And trusting those things gave me my biggest win of the year, right? So I'm not going to complain here too much. I wish I didn't take those dumb losses to start, but hey, that's the way she goes sometimes. And man, oh man, team, what a day. So we'll keep stacking them up, guys. We'll keep stacking them up. And I'm pretty happy with how today went. Fuck, man. Wild. So, any other questions here, team? Any other questions? All right, team. So if no further questions, I'm going to kill the stream here for the day. Same deal like always, right? If you have any questions, hit me up outside of market hours. And let's break things down, right? So we can have ourselves another fantastic trading day here tomorrow. Look, it's a working man's market here. So we'll keep working. We'll keep putting in the work. We'll keep sweating it out together if that's what it takes. And if for whatever reason you felt like you needed to have closed that trade here today early, study why, right? Study why you decided, hey, my P&L is not behaving the way that I want. What was the reason? Why you were correct on that or why you were wrong? And make those adjustments, right? I said it again. It's the first time I probably ever said this. But we have to trust our system, right? Or trust our strategy more than we trust our P&L. So how can I make objective reasons to get out besides just a P&L number? And how can I focus on improving those variables more than anything else? So that's the thing to focus on. That's the thing to improve. And if we can continue to make steps in that right direction, then we can get closer and closer, right, towards making our win rate irrelevant. Today, right, we 8x'd our max loss, essentially. So that means I need to be correct on like 17% of my trades, right, to break even. That gives me a tremendous amount of margin for error as long as I'm being structured and disciplined with my process. So it is that obsession, right, that actually makes this game easier, even if short term, right, it makes it feel much more challenging. So I'm thinking in like a second order, right, where what's the second thing that's going to make me profitable? I trust my technique. I make closing my trade something binary based on a technical reason, not a P&L reason. how can I maximize then my potential, right? That makes sense? And yeah, if this isn't proof, I don't know what is, right? All right, team. So enjoy the rest of your afternoons. Looking forward to seeing you guys all here again tomorrow. And let's keep crushing and building up this nice momentum. So have yourselves a great rest of the afternoon, and I'll catch up with you guys then. Peace.